Could you just quickly introduce yourself and your business and where you're located?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Bonnie. My name is Darlene, and I am the owner of Pant Photography. I am located in Georgetown, Massachusetts. I photograph pets and also pets with their families, and I pretty much covered Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine for locations.
Great. How did you get into photography and specifically dog photography or pet photography?
Yeah, so my journey is a little different. It wasn't one of those where, yes, I've had a camera forever and always took pictures. I was actually a flight attendant for 16 years, traveled the world, enjoyed that. And then in 2011, my husband and I rescued a project dog who we actually went through a couple different dog trainers at that time for her, who used punishing methods that didn't sit well with me. I ended up at that time studying everything there was to know about the science of dog training, got certified, started my own dog walking and dog training business, and then became a homebody, took an early retirement from flying. And then once I started working with dogs, I became obsessed with taking photos of my clients' dogs out on dog walks, dog training, things like that. And then I started taking photography classes, kind of fell in love with all of that. And now I do pet photography full time. So put the dog training and dog walking to the side and now doing what I am passionate about and absolutely love doing. I know.
Well, if someone is on the hunt for a pet photographer, can you talk about why it might be more important for them to get a little picky when it comes to this genre of photography?
Yes, definitely. So just because you find a photographer who may photograph pets or dogs, just because they love dogs does not make them an expert in pet photography. Photographing dogs is definitely a challenge. Being a dog trainer is very helpful for me. And I'm not saying that your photographer has to be a dog trainer, but things like dog behavior, dog body language are important for dogs in a photo session. You, as a photographer, they need to be able to tell if your dog is stressed during a session. Maybe they might need a break during the session. Also, safety is so important. The majority of my dogs are kept on leash during a photo session, and things like that are so important in, finding a pet photographer, to being able to address those things and have that as part of the session. The dog safety comes first. I do a lot of photo sessions too, right in the owner's backyards with the dogs. I find that's where they are most comfortable. They can be themselves, they can run around, and you get those pictures with just joy rather than being in a stressful environment. As I have photographed some dogs in studio, and the lights, the flash, just the more enclosed space can be stressful for the dog. So I prefer being outdoors with that natural light too. Yeah.
Well, okay, so you offer something called memory sessions. Can you explain what those are?
Yeah, so I'd say over half of my sessions are what I call memory sessions. And what they are, they're sessions for senior pets and terminally ill pets. Time is precious, and our pets aren't around forever. I mean, it just goes by so fast. And so I always recommend getting the pictures done as soon as possible. But if it's not possible or something comes up, I do try to fit those sessions in as soon as possible and try to accommodate that. But I do recommend doing those earlier. And what they are, they're sessions that celebrate. It's more of a celebration of your pet. And we do those either in your backyard, your dog's favorite location. It might be a beach or a hiking trail. And then I personally love putting together like what I call a story book from the session, just to memorialize the pet. So those sessions, my heart is with the senior pets, and I have a senior dog now who's 11, and I am a little obsessed with pictures on a daily basis where I don't know how much longer she's going to be around. So I get it. And I want the world to do that as soon as possible, to have those memories, because they are family.
So you have like this beautiful framed piece of artwork behind you with this cool barnwood frame. Can you talk about that product and how you offer this to clients and they maybe not can get that somewhere else?
Sure, definitely. So one thing I try to do to set myself apart from other photographers is try to offer unique products. I mean, I've searched for years for just products that are unique, a little bit different that you can't get everywhere else. And so I found a company, Farmhouse Frames, and they're out of Michigan, and they work with just over 200 photographers in the United States. So it's not easy to get into them, but everything is custom made with them. Everything's rustic, reclaimed barnwood, and they actually, like the frame behind me, it's a white wood and it's carved, it's put together and round, and you're not going to be able to find that everywhere. And so my round barnwood frames are my best-selling frames because they're not something that you can go into a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby and say, I'm going to get one of those round frames. And they custom make them and they do a beautiful job. And all my clients have loved them.
Do you have any funny or embarrassing or crazy stories during a session to tell?
Oh, every session there's something. No, when you work with dogs, every session there's something. But yeah, so thinking back to probably when I first, one of my very first sessions, and I've learned this quickly to always bring a change of clothes. And you know where I'm going with this, where I was photographing two larger dogs in their backyard. And 95% of a dog photo session, I'm lying on the ground on my stomach. I mean, you want to be at the dog's level to get the best images. And so you're lying on your stomach all the time. So I'm in the yard and I go to lay down right on the ground, and large dogs covered in dog, just down to belly, down to legs. And it was the beginning of the session, but you know what? You just kind of go with it and you finish, and it was a learning experience. So now, no matter what time of year, I have waterproof rain gear that I wear over my clothes. And then I just strip down when I get into the car, and it's easy, put it in a trash bag because sometimes who knows what I'm going to lay down in.
Well, where can potential clients find you online?
Okay, so my website, www.pantthetowne. So that's a play on words where sometimes people think paint the town, but it's pantthetowne.com. And I have an email. They can contact me on there. I am also on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and my Instagram and Facebook are Pant the Town Photography. And they can find me more there, my portfolio, and look at some of the images and some of the work that I do. And yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your afternoon with me.
Thank you, Bonnie. This was so much fun. I appreciate you having me on.